to Set It on Fire, the one place where CEOs like you and me get to be together, where we get to figure out how do we set the damn thing ablaze. Your business, your life, your money, team, company culture, and all of the things that allow us to build bigger, better, stronger. I'm so stupidly excited that you're here because every week I'm going to pull one of my dope-ass friends from around the world or someone who I admire to teach us how did they do it. The reality is that if they were able to do it, you can do it too. And you're more capable right now with what you have than you think. So let the Shadow CEO step in and help you get to your next level. Oh, I'm so excited. Are you ready? More than anything, I want you to take this journey, you and me, and I want you to set it on fire. What did I want you to set on fire? I actually want you to set everything on fire. Because the truth is that you don't give yourself enough credit for what you've accomplished this far. You don't realize the opportunity that's on the other side of your willingness to face your fear, face yourself, face the people, face the employees, face the team, face the family. And my number one objective is every single time that you and I get together right here, CEO to CEO, I'm going to show you how to set this whole thing on fire, frame by frame, brick by brick. Today, I'm going to walk you through the hardest lesson I ever had. It is your fault. Our number one responsibility as CEOs is to make sure that all the things keep working and everybody gets paid. I know that this seems very rudimentary and it's tempting for us to believe or want to believe that we can pawn off that responsibility to other people in our company. And even though, yes, we might hire a CFO, you might have a COO, or maybe you're like, Tiffany, I have the world's greatest admin. What I'm here to tell you is that regardless of where you are on your CEO journey, at the beginning and every day, it is your fault. This is probably the hardest lesson I ever had to learn. And I'm 20 years in the game of managing people, managing myself as a people, paying payroll, getting letters from the IRS, firing people, looking in the mirror, telling vendors that it's going to be 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how many years I spent taking the non-winning approach and trying to pawn off the responsibility of what was or wasn't happening to someone else. Oh, well, I hired such and such, and because I hired such and such, and they should be doing the such and such job. But my greatest aha, like my clearest moment of beginning to win was taking ownership of where we were. So right now, before anything else, I want you to take an actual inventory of where you are. What's working, what's not working. And honestly, you could probably grab a sheet of paper right now, and maybe this is a spot for you to pause just for a second and write down like the 5 things, like what's not working. You don't need me or someone else to tell you what's not working. I am going to take this opportunity to walk you through the departments in your company that are your responsibility, which is all of them, but I want to break them down by focus. Because what I learned, or what I've learned as a CEO, is that my business is a reflection of my life, and my life is a reflection of my business and businesses. In the same breath, my relationships with what's happening at home is a mirror of what's happening of relationships with my team members, employees, vendors, friends, peers, people in the industry. Your goal is not to just wake up and exist every single day for the sake of simply existing every single day and for the sake of simply hiding the fact that you're numb or that there are moments of being numb. Your responsibility is to thrive. Your responsibility as a CEO is to do the thing that you do that no one else can do, which is to give birth to the vision and to make sure that all the people who are supporting you to make that vision happen, they are rich in their lives. Every time I see a CEO who is focusing on the things that don't matter, I just hang my head low and think about all of the people in their organization who are missing the opportunity to learn from a leader. It took me about a decade to really own the fact that I had accomplished quite a few things. And I think I didn't acknowledge them. And maybe you're in the same space, but like I didn't acknowledge them because no one else acknowledged me. No one else acknowledged me. I was in an arena where everybody just made me feel like I was at the bottom of the barrel because they were in bigger places. And I really didn't understand. I didn't know how the hell I got to $1 million. I surely didn't know how I got to a couple $1 million. But what was real for me is owning the fact at some point after my first decade in business that I had gotten to $1 million and I had gotten to multiple million. I didn't get there by accident. I wish that I could tell you that I was the beacon of process and systems and all of the above, but honestly, I sucked. I sucked when it came to process and systems. Now, today, I'm a little better because I'm much more seasoned and I've had to sharpen that edge. But I was not great at process and systems. I did not have a spouse or a partner or a best friend who jumped into the business with me. And you may be in the same space, and that's okay. Because you know what we do have? We have us. What I did fast and furious is I made a decision to do what I knew how to do, and that was going out into the community and knocking on people's doors and meeting the director of that community college, meeting the director of the Chamber of Commerce, walking in the door of the Fortune 500 company that was sitting in my backyard. I'll never forget the moment when I built a relationship, like a real relationship with the superintendent of a school system. I had relationships with the superintendent of a school system. Right now on Facebook, I'm the friends with the chief of police of a county in North Carolina. It sounds wild and crazy, but the truth is that my responsibility has always been in building the relationships and the bridges that allow us to make more money, have stronger partners, do more dope shit out in the world, and most importantly for me, to build an environment where my team and the people who are supporting me and my vision, where they're thriving and growing in the lives that they want to live. Now, as tough as this is and has been, I say to you transparently that there have been times where I realized not that I've hidden from that responsibility, but I've definitely gone so numb. I didn't realize how much I walked away, or how much I emotionally had walked away from the things that were happening. And sometimes we walk away because we don't know how to catch it. Like we don't know how to catch it. Things are out of control. Things are all over the place. And every time you turn around, you feel like you get another note, another email, another thing. And then you wonder to yourself, man, am I doing the right thing? That cycle begins the spirit of doubt, and that doubt is dangerous. Let me tell you the number one thing you absolutely need when it comes to like starting the process of just setting the whole damn thing on fire. You need people. But before you can get people, you need clarity. The clarity that I want you to have right now before we even begin this journey is, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What do you want to do, and what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Like, if you had to take a real serious moment and be honest with yourself as a CEO, and I don't care how big your game is. I don't care if you've been in business for 25 years and you're running a $15 million company today and someone sent this to you where you stumbled upon my voice. I'm asking you a serious question. And if you're so big and bad, can you answer the question? Like, can you out loud be clear and articulate, what do you want? Not what your next goal is. I could set 1 million goals. I'm going to get to 10 million. I know how to get to 10 million. I'm going to get to 5 million. I'm going to get to 5 million next 20 days. That might be a little tougher, but the truth is, if I sold 4 things at 1.2, I almost didn't do the math, 1.25 million, I could do it. Tiffany, that's crazy. That's impossible. It is not. I have sat in front of I've sat with a sheet of paper in a boardroom, and I've sold $1 million contract more than once. I've sold a $500,000 contract more than once. It is not impossible. And I've done it multiple times in the same year. As CEOs and as leaders and as visionaries, the true only thing that is like for real in our way is our head and what's going on in our hearts and what's not aligning and what's not coming together. So then we go on all these BS retreats. We hear that there's an executive women's conference. Then we hear there's the summit for CEOs and all the men flock over there. And then we go there where other numb people are talking to other numb people doing other numb things. And then we're all numb together. And then we spent $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 more. We have a couple of great pictures. We did eat that great steak. We tried a wine that was amazing, $100 a glass. And then we get our ass back on a plane. And then we got to go look at ourselves. And then we're like, that was nice, but that wasn't it. No more. No more, that was nice, but that's not it. The greatest thing about a fire is that once you light it and you light it well, it doesn't die. You know that you could do you know that a fire could actually burn forever? In theory, if we really wanted to. Think about it. If you and I had a pit right now in front of us, and we had these amazing logs. I like to steal logs, but that's a different conversation. If we had these amazing pieces of logs and charcoal that had been curated and the right weather, all we have to do to keep that fire going is to keep adding to the pile. That's it. And in some moments when we need it, the fire can get a little hotter. In other moments, it can get taller. It can get deeper. It can get wider. It can get redder. It can get hotter. It can do all types of things if we wanted to. But the person who built the fire has to be clear that it's their responsibility to keep the fire going. What they don't know is that it doesn't always have to be their responsibility to keep the fire going or to add the things to the fire to keep it going. The greatest opportunity we have as CEOs and visionaries is to build a foundation big enough underneath us that other people can stand on. This is the greatest opportunity that CEOs and visionaries have today. And the greatest and number one thing that I see now, having coached thousands and thousands of people around the world, like I see, it is the number one thing that they take for granted and they put last on the list. They think it's having the perfect systems. And it's having the prettiest office, and it's having an expensive car, and it's having an expensive house. What are you talking about? It is not. It is not at all in having those things. You know what it is? It is having people who will stand in the storm with you. There is nothing greater on this planet. And every CEO who believes different is delusional. Let me repeat that for you, because I want to make sure that you don't miss this. I don't want you to be like, oh, I think she said, Every single CEO who believes or behaves differently is delusional on what really matters in business and in this life. Our responsibility is to do the thing and to do the damn thing well, to the best of our ability. I promise you, you cannot take the money or the legacy with you. You can take the people with you, and you can take the thing that you built that impacted people. And even if you're selling boring things in your world like HVAC systems or hoses, your company makes hoses, boring hoses. The people that you can impact are the 1,000 employees that work for you. That's it. That's your whole job. Because it's not about the 1,000 employees you have. It's about their spouses at home, their children, grandchildren. It is about their parents, money that they're sending back to the third world country that their family comes from. Do you really realize the impact that you have on the planet? If I can get you to just entertain with me, setting this whole thing on fire, and in addition to setting it on fire, if I can get you to entertain that you're impacting and have the capacity to impact way more than you acknowledge simply by standing in front of the conversation, removing yourself from backing away and backing down, and walking with me week by week as we fix the things that are happening in your company and in your world, and we take your life by storm. You know, Rome may not have been built in a day, but I promise you that even if Rome wasn't built in a day, I promise you it was thought of in about an hour. Rome may not have been built in a day, but the vision for it came, I bet, in about an hour. You already right now have an idea for the life that you want to live, but you also have an idea for the type of CEO that should be on the other side of this thing. You have an idea of how much money y'all should be making. You have an idea of how your employees should feel. You have an idea of what kind of team retreats you can plan. Like, you already have an idea for the type of things that you want to have happen. We just need to go ahead and hurry the hell up and get these things going, because I'm not getting no younger. You sure as hell not getting no younger. We might as well just do the damn thing now and be done with it. In the essence of setting something on fire, I want to remind you that you alone cannot keep this thing burning, but you alone can acquire the resources and tools that you need to make sure that the fire never dies. That is the entire essence of setting something on fire, being unapologetic about it, being excited about what you can create, and joining me in what I believe to be the greatest revolution to come, where the business people step up and solve the problems on the planet. Make no mistake about it. I am sitting here selfishly because I know that if I can get you to set this whole thing on fire, if I can get you to tap into your greatest untapped potential, and frame by frame, I'm going to help you fix the things that are going wrong in your business, from sales to marketing to people, to processes, leases, contracts, lawyers, to litigation, to whatever it is that is not working, and your husband and your wife and those baby kids and your grandkid and the child that's headed to jail and all of the above. If I can get you to frame by frame, stay with me and fix the things on the other side, it's not just going to be a better person. No, it's going to be a business, a movement that has the capacity and the ability to reach millions. That's what I'm after. That's exactly why I'm sitting here. And that's why I'm committed to teaching you everything I know, that I know, have known, and I am learning. Because setting the thing on fire, setting the thing and setting it all on fire is our responsibility. I don't believe that the world came without solutions. I don't believe that God created an amazing planet without solutions to the problems. I refuse to accept that, and I won't. And, I spent the first decade looking at politicians and non-for-profit leaders and going, why the hell won't you fix the things? And politicians, but I'm going to say politicians in different arenas, right? So whether it's kings and queens or rulers or prime ministers or presidents, I have looked to leaders and people around the world and said, why don't you fix those things? Why aren't you fixing hunger? Why aren't you fixing trafficking? Why aren't you fixing the thing? And for me, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Hold on. We're not fixing the thing. I get it. Politicians can't fix the things. Clearly, they can't fix the things. Wait a second. It's not the non-for-profit leaders who have the heart. It's not the woman who's actually feeding all those children in that country. No, absolutely not. She has an amazing heart. But I'm going to tell you right now, you point to any problem on the planet, be clear that every last one of those problems are rooted in economics. Whether you talk about slavery or human trafficking, the foster care system, our jail systems today, the inequality, the wealth gaps, no matter what you talk about or what you bring to the table, I'm going to point to economics that's behind it, which means if it's truly, as I believe, economics, and that means it's a business problem. So this entire journey, me sitting in this seat, is me 100% focused, not on the companies that I run and the teams and the people in my teams that I adore and love. And I want to teach them by example. It has nothing to do, this is not just about my children or the people in my family or people who stood by me. This is about the people who do not have the access, who come from countries like I came from. This is about people who don't look like me or look like me, or maybe just all of the women who are at the bottom of the conversation all the time. Regardless of the reason, I want you to be clear that because it's an economics problem, that pretty much means I got to step to the front of the line. And if I can get you to set this thing on fire, then guess what's going to happen? You can step to the front of the line with me. Are you in? Are you excited about you? Are you excited about setting this whole thing on fire? And are you ready to be more than you've ever thought possible? Chances are you've been ready. You just needed something to ignite it. And this moment is it.
Wasn't that ridiculous?
Isn't it wild to think that person is made up of the same thing that you and I are? Which means that you are just as capable of setting your business, your life on fire right now. But you know what it starts with? Action. And you know when that action starts? Now, this very week. Here's what I know. Somewhere inside of you is something you have not done, something that you know you need to do, and a place that you need to dive in deeper. I ask only that you do it right now. And if you're like, Tiffany, I don't know what to do, I need a little help, that's okay. You're going to do one of these three things next. Either one, you're filling out an application so that you and I can figure out how do we work together. Two, if you're like, Tiffany, I just got a quick question for that amazing guest you have on. Chances are I've got their cell phone number in my phone. And if you leave me a question or a comment somewhere, I promise you I will find it. And more importantly, I'll get that question answered for you and hit reply. Third, if nothing else, you are saying to yourself, I'm so excited, and you're pressing save and subscribing to make sure that you are with us again.